Now, basically what sugar addiction is your body's inability to regulate that homeostatic blood glucose level without the high sugar consumption. So your body gets so used to you getting all this sugar that it needs it in order to stay balanced. Now, the good news is that if you can just reduce your sugar consumption long enough, your body will become balanced on its own and it'll learn to function without that high sugar. The bad news is that those sugar cravings are a pain and they can be very intense and very hard to deal with. But I'm going to give you some tips on how to conquer your sugar craving. Tip number 1, don't drink soft drinks. And I actually did a video about this called the Soft Drink Challenge, and I want you to watch that because it's really good. But sometimes I'll tell clients or tell people in videos that you can eat certain foods in moderation, but soft drinks are just so bad for you that they're not even worth it. Don't even try to include them in your diet. Just cut them out and your health will be so much better because of it. Number 2, avoid artificial sweeteners. I know a lot of people think these are okay to have in your diet, but I want to point out some things that have been found in some research studies. Number 1, they increase your appetite. Number 2, they increase your sugar cravings. And number 3, they inhibit and can decrease your fat metabolism. They do all 3. You do not want to have artificial sweeteners in your diet if that's what they're doing, and that's what the studies say. Number 3, don't buy the junk food in the first place. Don't have it in your house. Don't have it in your car. Don't drive by the place that you know you like to stop to get that sundae. But mainly keep it out of your house. That's where you spend the majority of your time in the evenings when a lot of people have sugar cravings. And if it's in your pantry or in your refrigerator, it's going to be really easy to walk over and grab it. And if it's not there, it's going to be more inconvenient to leave the house. So that's a big one. Just don't buy it in the first place. Tip number 4, when you have a sugar craving, reach for fruit. Now, fruit, because it usually has a low to medium glycemic index, it's not going to cause that rush of energy like you're used to from junk food and desserts and things like that. It's going to be a more steady glucose into your bloodstream, so you're not going to get that rush, but at the same time it's a much better option. And over time your body will adjust to that and you will want the fruit and not the junk food. So if you do have a sugar craving, reach for that piece of fruit. Number 5, exercise. There is just really nothing that can replace eating a good diet and exercising because your body needs both of those things to function optimally, for your body to work the way that it's supposed to, for you to be a healthy individual. And if you leave exercise out, you're going to be avoiding a lot of benefits that can come from it, because exercise not only will keep you fit, but it actually will help you metabolize and keep that blood sugar stable. It helps your body learn to use the energy rather than storing it. So keep in mind that just because you're eating a diet doesn't mean that you can leave exercise out of the picture. In our society, we associate food and certain foods with different emotions. And I think with sugar, we associate happiness and joy and love and romance. So, for Valentine's Day, it's very common for men to buy their girlfriends or wives chocolate, some kind of chocolate candies. For Halloween, of course, there's tons of candy everywhere for all the kids. Holidays, when people are getting together and socializing and having a good time, typically there's special desserts prepared. So typically we associate happiness and joy and love with some type of high sugar food. And that's what I want to point out, and that's what we have to actually separate. We have to separate the emotion from the food, because that's what can get us into trouble when we are experiencing emotions and we want to go get this food because we are, feeling this emotion. So for instance, if it's Valentine's Day and you're buying and you want to get something special for your loved one, get them the flowers or get them a gift, and don't get the chocolate or the candy, because that's only going to promote that association between food and an emotion. Or if you want to reward your child for getting good grades, ask them what they would like, but don't use a food source as a reward. Especially, that's really detrimental to kids' concept of food and how it's related to emotions. If we reward a child with food, that can set them up for failure in life. And so, buy them a new pair of sneakers, buy them a video game for their Wii so they can, box or bowl or play tennis. So there's things that you can do to still show your love and still show that you're proud of them or that you care about them without having it be related to a high sugar food. Now here's another tip. If you aren't able to go off sugar cold turkey, taper off your intake slowly, and that will allow you to overcome some of those more intense withdrawal symptoms that if you were to just stop cold turkey. So in other words, if you have a sugar craving and you're used to eating a whole chocolate candy bar, well, next time eat just half of it. And then the next time you have a craving, eat a fourth of it. So that way you're eating less and less of that high sugar food, and eventually your body gets used to that lower sugar intake. And the good news is, once you overcome that high sugar diet and once you get over that, your body will get used to you not having sugar and you won't ever need that refined sugar again. Now, if you can manage to get off of your sugar content and your sugar intake, or if you taper off slowly, either way, whether you do cold turkey or slowly, this is what you have to watch out for, because once you're off it, your body won't crave it, you won't need it. However, if you're going to a party or you're around people for the holidays and you start eating those high sugar foods again, your body will quickly remember how it used to work with all that sugar, and then you will begin to develop those sugar cravings again. So please be aware that if you are without sugar and then you let your defenses down and you eat sugar consistently again, it's going to be very easy for those sugar cravings to begin all over again. So what's the best way to beat a sugar craving? Well, basically it's to cut out sugar out of your diet, because that's where your cravings are coming from. If you don't have sugar in your diet, you're not going to have sugar cravings. Now, don't confuse that with your blood sugar being low and you needing to eat something. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about actually craving that sugary food. So if you keep it out of your diet, you won't have those cravings. Now, one of the ways that you can overcome the sugar cravings is through eating low glycemic foods. Now, if you are used to eating high glycemic foods, which are typically the processed foods, those foods are going to cause the spike in blood sugar, which is going to cause you to eventually have low blood sugar, and it's going to increase your appetite, increase your hunger, and increase your sugar cravings. The amount of sugar that people consume on a daily basis acts as a toxin. Isn't it crazy that the food industry puts so much sugar in everything? I mean, it's in ketchup, it's in dressing, it's in bread, it's in cookies, it's in crackers. I mean, it's pretty much in everything that's packaged or processed. I mean, it's even in condiments that you wouldn't even think should have it in there. It's really everywhere. And, high sugar consumption is one of the primary causes for obesity. It causes blood sugar imbalances. It really does wreak havoc on the body. And if you do get off of sugar, and once you do, your health will be so much better for it. So there's the video. I appreciate you for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe, rate the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.